What's up, my Yubari King Melons? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and for those of you who are unaware, these melons are so sweet that they've sold for over $10,000 a piece over in Japan. So, take that as a compliment. Regardless, we are back with another installment of the Weekly Nightwave, the series where we take a look at this week's acts and find the most efficient or most entertaining way to take them on. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a Warframe of the week, and that's mainly because of the fact that I wanted to have a chat about the next Nightwave series, The Glassmaker. Hopes, dreams, expectations, that kind of stuff. Then of course we're gonna go ahead and wrap everything up with the watch list. So before we do anything, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got today. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of worried because as you can see, I'm at 8,500 out of 10k, and that'll put me at 31, which I don't like because it's gonna mess up my numbers, and I just really want to be at 30, but we can only hope and pray. So first we have Detonator, which is one of our dailies. It's kill 150 enemies with blast damage. We have Hacker, which is hack 8 consoles. We have Sharing is Caring, which is kill 150 enemies with viral damage, which I'm already really close to doing. No! Now for our weeklies, we have Assassin, complete 3 assassination missions. Very easy for me to avoid. We have Earth the Miner, mine 6 rare gems or ore in the plains of Eidolon. We have Not a Warning Shot, kill 500 enemies. Oh, they really want me to fuck up and do the next series, don't they? Sortie Specialist, complete 1 sortie. Then we have Supporter, complete 10 syndicate missions. I always laugh when they say complete 10 syndicate missions because it's like some of these other ones are like complete 3 missions, mine 6 gems, and I'm like 10 missions though? 10? I'm just saying. And then for our elite weeklies, we have Day Trader, which is win 3 wagers in a row without letting the enemy score in 1 match of the index. Easy peasy. And then Elite Test Subject, which is complete 8 zones of Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. All of these seem to be really, really easy to overlap, specifically when it comes down to the kill 500 enemies and a couple of the dailies. Even, completing 1 sortie will also cover that day, will cover that weekly as well. So you can knock those 2 out pretty easily. Now for not Supporter, for Hacker, that's just a simple spy mission. And then of course we have Supporter, which is the Syndicate mission, which I don't think you get assassination missions in there, but you know what, you could go ahead and give it a shot. This seems to be one of the easiest kind of like weeks to get into, which again scares me because the OCD in me is really gonna make me want to push up to 35 instead of sitting at like 31 or 32. I don't know if anybody else has that issue. I know some people in Twitch chat have told me before that they're not super fond of being at weird numbers. Regardless, let's go ahead and have a talk about the next Nightwave act, which has been teased with the name The Glassmaker. And when I think of Glassmakers, I don't necessarily think as anything like villainous or offensive. And one of the themes that we seem to be having over and over again when it comes to the Nightwaves is that it's always centralized around one villain, right? The Wolf of Saturn 6 was our Bane villain the first time around. The second one was the Emissary. Now, clearly, it wasn't 100% clear-cut that Arlo was the villain, or it could have been that one dude that was also, like, following him around. It was gonna be one of those two that was gonna be the villain, right? So there's always a clear-cut villain in these, and one of the things that I kind of asked myself is, the Glassmaker, it seems kind of innocuous. It can also be a little bit like foreboding, like a little bit dark. Like, what is this Glassmaker? Because if you guys watched Glass, which of course was the final trilogy within the Unbreakable series, Glass isn't always necessarily, the most forgiving thing. And of course it could also even tie in with Miss Gara. So there's multiple different angles that we can get in here, but the thing that I wanted to touch on is, do Nightwaves have to surround themselves, or at least the subject of the Nightwave, always have to be a villain? Because a part of me thinks maybe we could potentially see different types of stories where we have a certain character that we want to save. Maybe someone that's trying to escape, and each week they're kind of documenting their progress through this escape that maybe we're attempting to help them with. you know, something along those lines. Because a part of me is like, we don't need the main character to always be the villain. In fact, it would be kind of cool if the main character of one of these Nightwaves could potentially be one of the side characters that we run into before, like Maru, maybe Darvo, maybe even Baro Katir. Something to flesh these other characters out, because right now what we're getting is we're definitely getting kind of these side stories that are kind of on the edge of, you know, the different civilizations. You know, one happened at a, what do you call this? One happened at a prison. One happened, you know, over in Ceres. So one of these things could potentially happen, you know, maybe more around a centralized character. Maybe even some of the characters that we have some backstory on, like Fraud Beck or something, to kind of give us more of a history of what's going on with them. Or maybe someone like Maru, because legitimately, the bitch just showed up one day. Or what if we don't even have one that's necessarily centered around a person? What if it's centered around an area, kind of like Iron Wake? Now, in my previous video where we talked about things that DE may have potentially forgot about, somebody had mentioned Iron Wake, and I was like, you know what? That would be kind of a cool switch of focus. Instead of talking about, you know, specifically one person, maybe a villain or, you know, that kind of thing. We could have it being like the history of an area and like what we need to do in order to protect it, why it's worth protecting. Something along those lines, because like it's cool to kind of see these, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people are really into these like murder series, these murder mystery series where they focus on a murderer and they talk about, you know, all of the ways that they evaded capture and yada yada and so on and so forth. So maybe that is what they're kind of going for, is kind of like, you know, the murderer of the week. But I think that it would be kind of cool to switch up the angles at which they approach their story. So I hope that the Glassmaker is going to be a different take on that. In addition, I'm really curious to see if it is going to be Corpus focused. Now, we did have a little bit of a touch of it in Wolf of Saturn 6, where they showed that he had kind of worked with Alan V, but of course there was also a little bit of pairing of sentience there too. So a part of me is like, maybe they'll go Corpus, maybe they'll go Orokin. What if they just don't even do necessarily a specific, oh my god, what if they flip it around completely and they do Tenno? What if they focus on a Tenno character? What if it's Little Duck? I don't know, but I'm kind of sort of into it, and I'm really excited about that thought. I just want to see more of the world, but I also don't always want it, or don't always feel like it has to be from the eyes of a villain character. That's all I'm putting out there. Let me know how you guys feel about this down in the comments below. Plus, it would be cool to see, because they've talked a lot about the Corpus Imperium that may be launching. So this might be a great way to focus on one of the characters that like worked alongside the Imperium stuff. I don't know. But it would be nice to see some Corpus, what is it, cosmetics in the pool as well. So, you know, we've got a little bit of Infested, we've got a little bit of Grenier. What about the Corpus? So that's basically gonna be it for my stance on that. Let me know how you guys feel about it. So let's move along onto the watch list, which I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing that I'm really super excited for is on Netflix. It's gonna be called Sex Education Season 2. If you have not watched Season 1, it's a very easy watch. It's a British coming-of-age comedy series. It's about a kid whose parent is like I don't remember all of it, but I just remember it was fantastic. It was like a less stressful version of Skins. If you guys had watched Skins way back in the day, the British version, it's like that. There's a lot of sex and weird shit that happens, and there's a lot of weird scenarios that come up, but I really liked Sex Education Season 1, so Season 2 looks to be promising as well. The only thing else that I wanted to make mention, which kind of goes along with our weekly Nightwave, is Don't Fuck With Cats. Someone was actually doing a synopsis of it online, and I watched and listened to their synopsis of it, and basically it's about some dude that was killing cats and posting it online, and how the online community banded together to figure out who he was, where he was, and basically found ways to shut him the fuck down. So that one's a really interesting one. If you're feeling the whole Nightwave villain vibe, you can go ahead and jump into that. To everybody out there, I promised it. I will do it at one point. I will watch The Expanse on Amazon Prime. I swear. I've just not gotten around to it. I still have to finish, or not finish, but catch up with His Dark Materials, which is over on HBO. So those are what is currently on my weekly watch list. Let me know what's on yours, if there's anything that's been tickling your fancy toss that down there as well. There's another one too. I don't know if you guys remember him, but if you watched Black Mirror and that episode of Striking Vipers, the really hot Asian dude on there, his name's Ludi Lin. He's actually got a series coming out on Netflix called The Ghost Bride. Wait! The Ghost Bride was an anime that somebody was telling me to watch, but now we're gonna have this version. I think it's gonna be in English as well. So it's about a girl who has to decide between a god, a demon, and a man. If that's what it is, I don't know, but from what I heard, it's gonna come up. He's posted up pictures on his Instagram. Yes, I am on Instagram. You can follow me at @agayGuyPlays. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm going to do some little investigating because that might be it. Regardless, toss your watch list down in the comments below as well. And any of your feelings on the Glassmaker. Regardless, that about does it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.